And now joining us, Bruno Morisson, and as usual, Vitor Domingos. Bruno, great conference. What do you think still needs improving?
Still needs improving.
Please say that.
Well, maybe we've kind of outgrown this venue. We had 90% of people showing up, which is, I think, amazing, and we not counting the staff and so on. So we had over, I guess, 300 people here, and it's. I think we need a bigger space to get everyone. One of the things that I personally we had to do this choice last year, and we did it again, was to run the keynotes in parallel. I'd prefer to have one keynote with everyone there, but that means that we'd have to have a space that supports at least 300 people at the same.
Yeah, either a bigger room to get everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It's not even about bigger. This room actually could fit a few people in there. It's a logistics. It's like a floating room.
Yeah,
if
we
you
can.
put people in that, the room.
Yeah, we'll fall. So we can have more than like 180 people in that room.
Just like the office, right? We understand. No.
So that's one of the things. I think, generally, I think things are still going very well. The feedback has been quite positive. Of course, us as organization, we do know a few things that maybe didn't go as well, but hopefully no one noticed too much. So I think it's pretty cool.
My first question will be around women applying, submitting. How did the numbers look like, and what do you think we missed or didn't miss?
Honestly, I don't know. For the CFP, I think we had one submission from a woman. As attendees, I think I don't have the numbers, so probably we could look them up, but obviously a lot less than men, but I think there are quite a few women around. So what I don't know, honestly, I don't have a very strong opinion on that. I think if there's women that have interesting things to submit and come speak, I'm sure they will be well accepted here. I think, well, looking at what usually is happening on the Twitterverse and so on regarding conferences, honestly here, and you guys have been here for also all the editions, I never seen any issues on that regard. So I think people, either gender or whatever, are all welcome and well received here. So I think it's just a matter of people really coming up and
feeling more comfortable
in attending and on submitting and coming to speak.
Yeah. Because I still remember in the early days that it wasn't the B-sides, it was Conferia. I don't know, the first edition, it was at the Apple store, was it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Apples,
And had, I don't know, 20 seats, and right now we have a lot of people. So it took some time, it took some patience, and it took some effort from you guys, from the organization, to put this forward and to actually promote it. So it is quite really amazing. And I was just having an interview with Thomas.
Fisher.
Exactly. And I tried to get some feedback when he tried to compare this this B-sides with the one in London, and he actually told me that you can't compare because this is just the community itself, right? It different types and setups of community they have in London. They have more a bigger one there rather than here, and I do believe that as we talked in the first interview, is that this is for the community. This is for not just for the Portuguese, but also so that we can promote ourselves and can bring some novelty and some information back into the community, which is very good.
Yeah. I think our main aim, and when we started in 2013, me and Tiago decided to just do a BSides Lisbon, because it was. Well, we've went through that, so I won't repeat it, but there was nothing, so let's try to do something interesting in this area. But it's also always about the community and the people involved, and make this with the people who actually work in the area and who want to learn more and share, and everyone is a volunteer, so it's on that perspective. And I think in starting with the issue of, if it's an issue of not many women applying or even giving talk. Last year we did have, I think, at least two at one workshop and also a speaker. We have women on staff who actually work also in information security, cybersecurity, whatever you want to call it. Let's not get into that. But I think it's the same issue as Pedro Vilaça was speaking today, and then the last slide, he was trying to get a lot of in this case, Portuguese talent to come forward and start speaking and writing things and so on. So I think this is a general issue that people sometimes need to feel more comfortable, either because they're shy or because they don't feel comfortable in a certain environment that in this case it's historically much more male oriented or with a lot more men. But again, I think in our case, I can speak for the others. I think our community and our organization here and then the people that attend are very inclusive, and I hope that everyone feels welcome and comfortable in speaking and attending.
Maybe for the next edition we can do a bridge or close the gap between. So I'm a young IFOSEC guy. How can I talk about the questions that I have or the project that I'm working on, and how can I expose that to the community in a manner that actually they can understand, but also the wider audience as people that actually don't know about security. Sorry, Tiago. One thing that that this event, I think it really as I understand, this event is also for InfoSec people, but should we expand it to the wider audience, like those folks that are at Web Summit, or you just keep it focused on the community itself?
Well, it's a good question. I like that this specific conference it's built by and oriented to people in information security. Okay, and I think that there's value in that. But I also think that there may be value. Maybe this is not the exact. Maybe this is not the conference for that. Maybe it is interesting to do something similar, but with a different audience for developers and so on.
I was suggesting Security Summit next year.
Yeah, something more like that, a security summit. Maybe have security people and maybe developers that have had experience and contact with more security-oriented things. To come and share their experience with other.
It would be a whole different ballgame, because in terms of number of people and all that, it would have to be the guys from Web Summit doing it. They have the budget for it. They have the platform for it. You know, this is kind of the InfoSec event. One thing I would ask, if you had to say, like, what's still our biggest problem? In my opinion, is still sponsors, right?
For the conference. Well, I think each year that we that the conference happens, I think next year is easier to get sponsors. Again, being a somewhat local event, most of the sponsors that come up are local sponsors. So it's not like we're a full international conference that we can get sponsorship from some big name multinational company that does security or whatever. So it's on that perspective, it's quite harder. Here it's like the managing how to get some to a certain size, which I think should not be much bigger. But there's different opinions on the team. But
500.
Yeah, but I think the consensual is around 500 people, not more than that, and actually being something that could attract other sponsors to help us with expenses and with anything else. Again, this is not for profit or anything, so everything that we get from sponsors, even the tickets are just the €5 that we collect is basically just to make sure that people don't get tickets for free and don't show up, which was a problem on the initial years and since last year.
Okay, so just to wrap up this year event. I'm guessing that we're gonna have another one next year, probably in a bigger venue, as we started the conversation.
Hopefully,
Do we have already a main theme for next year?
No, not really. We haven't even discussed it. We have a lot of ideas always.
we need to look at the sheets, the feedback sheets, and we have a lot to discuss for next year. Dates, venue, people, program. I think even organizationally we need to do some changes, like start discussing things earlier and all that. But there'll definitely be an event, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's
and probably a two-day event, right? Because this one was just.
I don't know. Why? Probably. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
At least 1.5. I think worked really well. The CTF yesterday on the afternoon worked really well, and the talks in parallel for people who are not at the CTF can watch the talks. If you get a bigger venue with a bigger room, maybe we can do bigger things on the first day, because we are limited like to 180 people.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going. I always say this every year. This year is going to be epic. So next year is going to be epicer. So it's
excellent.
Yeah. So,
all right, excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next year.
Nice.
Up top.
Yep.
There you go.